1, 2, 3, FCA!
That leg's okay, right? So ideally, when I try to get my opponent in a like, we're gonna go straight ankle, by the way, is what we're doing first. So when I'm trying to get my opponent, most leg locks in general, I want to try to get my knee past his knee. So I want to try to get in a position where my knee is past his knee and my foot is planted on his hip. This, for a number of reasons, my foot basically framing on his hip keeps him from immediately pushing, driving into me, and it also stops him from hopping his hips over. Because a very common way people will try to get out of the leg lock if my foot's here is he'll just hop over his hip in order to get out. So I really want to make sure that my foot is planted on his hip. My knee pinching down here and also hooking underneath here keeps him from immediately being able to bring that knee out, because I can get a nice pinch. Because if he's able to get that knee out of here, then we'll have issues as well. So this is an important thing I want to make sure is this. I get this set up. Before anything else, before going for the submission, I want to get a lock here. There's different locks, but this is like basically like an example of a good, basically leg entanglement for then when I want to go for all the different leg locks. So let's just go over the basic, just straight ankle. So I'm going to look to come underneath my opponent's cap, right underneath the, almost like not on his cap, but right underneath his ankle here. I want to lock tight, and I want to make sure that the blade of my arm is going into his ankle, like this, not flat, the blade. I'm then going to get, I can get either gable grip, or I ideally like to get underneath here, just right underneath the palm, pinching tight, and basically what the movement I'm doing is I'm just going to look away from my opponent. Really fast. So that's the motion I'm doing. So I'm basically here, pinch, look away.
You have a gable grip going on in there?
No, I have like a hand over the, what would you call this? A hand over it.
Yeah, I don't know. Hand over, I guess?
Yeah, it's like over the top of your knuckles.
Christy.
Over the top of your
Palm
knuckles.
over the knuckle.
Yeah.
Over the back of the hand.
Gable grip, you could probably get gable grip as well. Both work.
They work, okay.
I just feel like I can get better pull up. Like that. And I'm also pinching on his knee to keep his knee in tight. So there's not a lot of movement. I want to make sure that his leg's nice and tight. I'm going to do one time.
And so the pinching is what isolates everything?
Yeah, it keeps his
Hold
arm,
position.
because if I release and I'm loose, you just start to escape and get out. So this kind of just keeps him locked and tight. Because another thing he wants to try to do is try to get boot the foot and stuff and get out like that. So keeping his leg locked and tight and keeping my knees pinched makes it much harder for him to immediately start to free that foot. Which is basically where our fight would be. He's going to be probably trying to push down and pry my foot out of the way, or to try to hop over and get his foot through.
How solid are you in that position? Do you have time to, like certain triangles, how you can, once you get there, you got time to maneuver, or do you?
I mean, I don't want to just sit here forever, because just like any position, he's going to slowly start to work things in and start to weaken my. So I want to make sure that I don't just dilly-dally here.
Okay.
When I'm ready to go for this. So one more time. I'm here, I have my foot on his hip, I have my hook underneath his leg here, and I'm just pinching down. Either gable grip or hand over, palm over the top of the knuckles. I'm gonna pinch, just keep his ankle tight. I'm gonna rotate my wrist so the blade of my arm is going into his ankle. I'm just gonna look away until he taps. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, so next I'm going to show, since both are heel hooks, I'm going to show the inside and the outside heel hook. So let's start with the outside heel hook. So similar position to before, I'm going to make sure that I have my leg here, locked over his knee, and I have my foot planted here on his hip, like this. So the outside heel hook is a little bit harder to get compared to the inside heel hook because of the fact that his heel's a little bit more hidden here. So what I'm gonna have to try to look to do is I'm gonna have to try to get his foot out so I can use my arm. I need to get his heel out basically enough to where I can wrap underneath. So once I get underneath here, then I can basically hook underneath and start to go for the heel hook. Compared to the inside, where the inside is basically his foot's across from me here, and I can immediately just come underneath. So it's a little bit easier because his foot's already here. So all I need to do is wrap and then lock around. So we'll first just go over the outside heel hook. So same position, I have my pinch. I'm gonna direct control his heel to where I can basically get underneath here. I'm gonna get a gable grip, and I'm just basically gonna till you tap. I'm just basically getting nice and tight and just twisting into it. Making sure that I have a really tight grip on his knee. Just like that. Same for the outside, but a little bit different. I'm gonna come here, wrap underneath, get a lock, just gable grip over the top, twist into it, like that. So see, it's much easier for me to get this one compared to that one because there's way more. One thing, if I here, he can immediately, one thing he'll do is start to hide this knee from me, so just tuck it in and start to hide this knee, making it really hard for me to get it. So it'll be more of a fight here. So maybe in a situation where I may force the knee out to the side here, and I'll try to get this one if I'm having a hard time. And then lock up here. Making sure that, I wanna make sure I keep this tight around here, this part. I don't want it to be loose. I wanna make sure there's a nice tight lock around this foot. And of course, this is not like the be all end all. He's in a pretty bad position, but often people will do is they'll just start to rotate or they'll push or whatever in order to try to break out. So that's basically where the battle will go. And a lot of people you'll see in like, high level grappling tournaments is that someone will get one of these locks and you'll see them roll, basically trying to fall. One guy trying to basically, almost like a race, trying to beat the other guy to basically, if he's fast enough, he can start to go for it faster than he can roll. So I'll like do it slow motion, but if you want to show, like, it's just rolling. Yeah. And maybe he's faster and he gets out. Maybe I'm faster and I'm able to get the lock. It's a dangerous game. But when you are doing these like tournaments where there's like a lot of money on the line, people will give it their all and try to escape out, and they'll risk having their ankle potentially, their knee possibly broken. But for us, like if I've said it before, but if you're rolling with your partner and they get a nice tight grip, and if you see this, just tap. And for the same person, if you're the person getting them in the lock, and you see maybe they're oblivious or they're they're kind of in a sort of hyper focused mode or whatever, and they don't notice that, just let go of it, because you don't want them to accidentally hurt themselves. Because often, majority of the time, it's not even the person who gets them in the lock that ends up doing it, it's the person themselves, because they get the lock and then they go the opposite way or they panic and then they pop their own knee. So if you're rolling today, just be very self-aware of where your foot's at. If you feel like they got a nice tight lock, don't be ashamed to tap. No one here is gonna be, think lesser of you. So let's go over this again. Here, so here, tight. If I need to, I'm gonna grab it and basically pull up in order to get my foot underneath, my ankle underneath it like this. And then notice how tight it is. I'm just gonna rope like that. If it's deeper like this, it's harder for me. So I wanna really make sure for the inside heel, like I get a nice tight grip here, and I'm not rolling back. I can just do it right here to finish it. And I'm just twisting like that, just lifting up. A lot of people think that you gotta go to finish it, but that's not the case.
It's just me.
If you want any details you want to give?
So this is so cool. I love leg locks. I did leg locks for over 20 years. I mean, I know this, but it's so versatile from here. I mean, you can miss that and you can just set up and go. So there you go. You see how deep it is? I mean, this is one of the best I mean, the outside hook, the inside hook I'm not very familiar with, but this one right here is so versatile. You can switch from one place to another one, from heel hook to the other one over here, to knee bar. I mean, there is so many things here. I just wanted to say that. So learn that. Thank you.
Okay. So they don't need to see any of the other ones, see it again, or are we okay? Does they don't need to see the inside or the
But the
outside?
outside, heel hook, it's your right hand that's facing in, or your left hand when you do the
So my right hand's gonna come underneath this.
underneath, and it's facing in when you
Like
do the
this.
cable grip, or okay.
Like that. And I'm just similar to the ankle lock, I'm keeping my legs tight, foot stays here, and I'm pinching in so he can't immediately get his foot out. I'm using my elbow. And then for the opposite side, for whatever situation, if we end up in this sort of position where his legs are crossed from me, which is essentially what the inside heel hook is, I'm just gonna come around here. I will fall to my side a bit, but I'm still doing the same motion in order to get I'm coming underneath, locking tight, and just basically I'm using basically my armpit in order to keep his foot basically in place, so as I lift, there's no turn. Basically like this. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
This foot keeps his foot locked in place, so as I turn, he has no room, because if he's able to, yeah. So that's basically what I'm trying to say. Lock in tight, and then like that. Be slow with this one. Don't throw this one on quick on people, because it can get bad pretty quick. Or too fast. So, you ready? 3, 2, 1. So, to get the toe hold, I'm gonna immediately look to grab around this part of his foot here. I guess you say like the meat of his foot, right around here. I'm gonna come underneath here, grab my ankle, and just rotate like that. So that's basically what I'm looking to do from here. So it's just from this position, from the same position where I can get the inside heel hook, I can come here, maybe for whatever reason I can't get it, I can come to here, underneath, and it's basically like an Americana on his foot.
Yeah.
And I'm just, until he taps.
Now, what's it supposed to hurt?
It's basically like a heel hook, same thing like a heel hook, but instead of using the wrap around to rotate
I
the
see.
knee that way, I'm using basically like Americana grip to rotate his knee. It's the same
thing.
pressure,
Okay.
pressure on knee, basically same position, just same submission, just different lockup, different
Okay.
way I lock up. Instead of coming around underneath like a heel hook, I'm just coming here tight. It just requires a little bit more extra steps. Grabbing my own, and I'm basically driving down and pulling basically back, this is like a kind of like Americana, similar to figure four grip.
There it is.
That's basically what it is. I'm getting figure four grip here.
Right.
Still maintaining my tight squeeze on his leg, still keeping him so we can't hop over, because he can still hop over. He still has an option to hop over and escape.
Okay.
Instead to go for his own stuff.
You can go in. You're gonna use the knee. You're gonna grab the back of the knee and you're gonna pull it, and at the same time you're gonna use your armpit to bend his leg. And his right side. Right?
Okay.
So from here, some people are gonna be defending it. Put in the boot, right? Put the boot in. Yeah, he's putting the boot.
And you just want to lift.
And then you just lock it out.
Yeah.
Okay? Same thing for here. If you cannot. And then you can relax. All right? So most of the time, when you get to this situation, right, you control this. That way he doesn't go anywhere. Go somewhere. All right?
The only thing I could go is if he starts to roll. Even
Right.
then, it's pretty.
But grab it here so you have a little bit of time, right? If I'm here, right, and I draw, boom, I'm gonna grab the knee, right there. Boom, grabbing the knee, so he doesn't go anywhere. This is your leash. Even if he rolls, roll. Boom, there is an evil, right? So, this is mechanics, right? This is kinesiology. This is the mechanics of the human skeleton. The human skeleton only moves in different ways. Once you learn with the movement, I mean, your knee's not gonna roll if you hold it, right? Your elbow is not gonna roll. I mean, try to move your arm up like this if you hold it like this. This is why in all situations, if you grab somebody here, where is his strength? There is no strength. There is no strength. Everything comes from this joint. Right? Same with the knee. If I'm going to secure a knee bar, I'm going to secure the knee right there. You see how it goes? Mm-hmm. I can play now on anything I want. Oh, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
You guys good? Just a little bit of information. There's nothing wrong with theory, because most of the time we get worried about the techniques and how to do it. We have to learn what not to do, right? What not to do, so the other guys does not counter.
Yeah, I've gotten submission with people
Right.
for using moves that I never learned before, just because of using my just knowledge from just training for so long and understanding how the human body works. I was able to just pull off a submission
That's it.
because I just understood.
So learn a little bit of that. Get with your partner, learn what works for you, and just the mechanics a little bit. All right, guys.
3, 2, 1. But what I'm saying, like the arm bar from guard, you don't have to always do exactly that from guard. You don't have to always put your foot on the hip, make the angle. You can say like someone's trying to smash past me or something, and they just happen to get in that position and finish it from there. That's what I'm trying to say. There's no, like, if you don't do it like exactly like this, you're not going to get an arm bar from the guard. You can get an arm bar from guard pretty much anywhere. So I'm going to show an entry into a knee bar. So my opponent, he's playing an open guard. He has his legs up. I'm going to step in with my, well, it doesn't have to be my lead leg, but for me, this is my lead leg. Step in with my lead leg. I'm gonna step back here, get control, pull up, fall to my side. Of course, I do this much quicker in a live situation, but that's the idea. I'm stepping in, stepping back, grab the leg to my chest, and fall to my side. From here, to finish this, just like a regular arm bar, I'm gonna make sure that my hip is right underneath the joint of his knee. If I get it past, if I'm like this, it's not gonna work. So I wanna make sure that it's either past or right on my hip. I wanna make sure I'm gonna keep his foot close to my side of my neck, head, in my shoulder, and I'm just gonna pinch. That way, he has no room to try to wiggle out. Then, all I'm gonna do is I'm just like a regular arm bar, I'm gonna lift my hips and pull back until he taps, like that. So I'm just basically dropping him on me, pipe, drive my hips forward. The thing on the ego is all sorts of different ways I can get it. So I come back, I just want you guys to do it this way, but I'm gonna show like an example. So come back here. So let's say I'm, stand up. Let's say I'm below, maybe I do like an X guard. I take him this way, and then boom, I can get him like this. So like I can get him in all sorts of different ways. This way I'm just showing is like a very basic example of like of a way I can get into the knee bar. And then same thing how I finish it, just a little bit different because I'm from here instead. But like that's the idea of the knee. Same fundamental thing. So I'm here, stepping in. It can be both ways. It can be this way. I just gotta make sure. Get control. Fall to my side. I can post out maybe if I want to break my fall so I don't immediately fall straight down and hurt my shoulder or anything. And then I'm just keeping it tight and just leaning into it like that. Or I can do it from here. I want it like here, like just like this. Just heavy, just like an arm bar. I'm pressing down with my legs. I'm keeping tight and I'm just lifting my hips forward until he taps. All right. See it again, or we good? All right. 3, 2, 1.